regards to a meaningful spirituality. What does spirituality actually mean? Everyone's talking about spirituality, but not everything that goes by that name is truly spiritual. Many people associate it with meditation, prayer, special rituals, or extraordinary experiences. All of these are forms of spirituality. But it also begins when a person has the courage to face themselves honestly. Spirituality is the search for what gives our lives meaning, depth, and direction. It is the longing for connection with God, with our innermost being, with our fellow human beings, with nature, and with the greater whole to which we belong. True spirituality is a path of inner maturation, a path of truthfulness. Those who walk this path encounter not only the light within themselves, but also their own shadows. We recognize our fears, our wounds, our habits and patterns. This can sometimes be uncomfortable. Yet this is precisely where the power of spirituality lies. It invites us to become ever more truthful. The more we grow, the more we realize that it is about becoming more human, more compassionate, more honest, more loving. True spirituality is not shown through grand words, but in everyday life. It is shown in the way we speak to other people, how we react to conflicts, how we deal with mistakes, our own and those of others. It is shown in patience, forgiveness, and responsibility. A spiritual person knows it is not circumstances alone that shape my life, but also my thoughts, my words, and my actions. What we put out into the world comes back to us. That is why change always begins with ourselves. Over time, this gives rise to an inner peace. Not because life suddenly becomes perfect, but because trust grows. Trust that we are supported, guided, and accompanied. 7 signs of false or superficial spirituality. Spiritual pride. People who consider themselves particularly awakened, label others as asleep, or regard themselves as more advanced have often merely inflated their ego. Genuine spirituality makes one more humble, not more arrogant. Those who are truly on the path realize how much more they still have to learn. Escaping from problems. Some people use spirituality to run away from their problems. They say things like, "Everything is just an illusion," or "You just have to think positively." Negative feelings are suppressed, conflicts avoided. Yet genuine spirituality does not mean denying pain and fear, but facing them honestly. Only those who embrace their shadows can truly grow. Fixation on power or special abilities. If the focus is primarily on manifestation, energy powers, special abilities, or secret techniques, this is often a warning sign. True spirituality does not ask, "What can I get?" but rather, "How can I become a better, more loving person?" It is not about gaining power, but about serving and growing. Dependence on gurus or authorities. When someone claims, "Only I know the truth," or when people follow blindly without thinking for themselves, a dangerous dependence arises. Genuine spirituality strengthens our inner compass. It teaches us to take responsibility for ourselves and to listen to our own inner voice, not to obey blindly. Superficial positivism. An artificial, perpetual positivity can also be a trap. Life contains both light and shadow. Mature spirituality integrates both sides of life. It does not romanticize anything, but accepts reality as it is. The ego in spiritual guise. The ego does not automatically disappear through spirituality. Sometimes it even becomes stronger. Spiritual self-promotion. The need to be admired or the constant desire to lecture others. These are all signs that the ego has merely donned a new guise. Genuine spirituality, on the other hand, makes one quiet, humble, and authentic. 7. No change in everyday life. The ultimate test is life itself. If someone talks a lot about spirituality but acts unkindly in everyday life, belittles others, or remains selfish, then it is probably just theory. True spirituality is revealed in daily behavior, in how we treat the people around us. You will recognize them by their fruits. This means it is not words that reveal spirituality, but a person's life. What a person does, how they treat others, how they react in difficult situations, that is the true measure. 10 characteristics of genuine spirituality. Truthfulness. A spiritual person seeks the truth, even when it is uncomfortable. They are prepared to question themselves and examine their own shadows. They do not live in illusions, but face reality. Humility. The deeper one's spiritual growth, the less one feels superior. One realizes we are all learners. No one has the magic formula, and each of us is on a journey. Humility is not a weakness, but the fruit of genuine insight. Love and compassion. Spirituality is revealed above all in how one treats other people. Patience, compassion, understanding, and forgiveness are not mere pious words, but a way of life. Love is not merely a feeling. It becomes a way of life that permeates everything. Responsibility for one's own life. A spiritual person does not constantly blame others. They realize, my thoughts, my words, and my actions shape my life. They take responsibility for themselves and for the world in which they live. Inner peace. Even when external difficulties arise, a certain calm remains within. Not because everything is perfect, but because a deep trust in life has grown. This peace is independent of external circumstances. Simplicity. Many spiritual people discover that what is essential in life is simple. Nature, silence, genuine encounters, and gratitude become more important than possessions or status. They realize that less is often more. Connection with all life. A spiritual person does not feel separated from the world. They recognize a deep connection to people, animals, plants, the earth, and the entire cosmos. Mindful action. Spirituality also means mindfulness. What am I saying? How am I acting? What impact do my actions have? The person becomes more alert and mindful in their everyday life. Nothing is done thoughtlessly anymore. Gratitude. A spiritual person develops a deep sense of gratitude for life itself. Even small things become precious again. A sunrise, a conversation, a tree, a moment of silence. Gratitude opens the heart to the wonder of the present moment. Growth rather than stagnation. Spirituality is not a destination, but a journey. A spiritual person knows, I am still on the path. There is no final state of enlightenment, but rather a constant maturing and growing. Every day is a new invitation to become a little more who we truly are. True spirituality can be recognized by the fact that a person becomes more loving, more authentic, and freer. The more spiritual a person becomes, the more strongly they realize we all belong together. It is not about being something special, but about living our true nature in humility, love, and connectedness. Spirituality is the art of becoming more and more what we already are deep down. People who are capable of love,